You've been sober 6 years now. Your father passed just about 10 years ago. After his suicide, is that when you struggled the most with
Alcohol abuse
and taking care of yourself, or?
No. I think there was a few times in my life where I struggled an equal amount, or similar. That was probably actually, yes, it was the time of my life where I struggled the most, but there were similar times in my life. Post September 11th, actually, was a very challenging time for me. I moved to New York in September of 2001. I wasn't able to acknowledge the trauma of living in New York, in a post 9/11 New York, for a number of years, because I didn't believe that I could acknowledge that I was negatively impacted by that experience, the attacks and the New York after that, because I didn't know folks who passed in the towers. And you know, I think there's many folks I've spoken with who feel a similar way, you know, in the sense that, you know, there's a shooting or there's some sort of political event or that is really devastating to us. And yet it's hard to acknowledge, hey, this is really impacting me in specific ways. And I think we need to give ourselves a break and acknowledge the fact that it's like, hey, this shit's hard. And so, you know, for me, we all have kind of primary operating procedures, and alcohol was a primary part of that for a long time. Because it was my way of coping.
Well, and there's self-awareness, and it's so hard for some people that get stuck in those cycles, or you know, I didn't really think of it like this until my ex-girlfriend brought it up when she would see me go through it, which is like spiraling. And I would have episodes or moments in life where it would take me down drinking a lot, and I just did the same thing, rinse and repeat. And I finally got to whenever it was eight months ago, and I stopped drinking, of just like waking up one day, I'm like, I can't live like this anymore. I can't keep doing this to myself. And I guess I just give you all the props in the world for, I don't know if you got to that same rock bottom as me, feeling like that. I guess that's the question I ask you. How did you get to that turn to know, hey, I got to cut this shit out?
Well, I mean, it came down to a lot of off-label usage of alcohol. You know, on beer or whatnot, you know, it says drink responsibly. Or advertisements or what have you. And I was using alcohol in ways to medicate. And the challenge with that is there's never enough of those type of solutions to quench the need. And when I stopped drinking, I started realizing that I could manage my feelings in beyond healthier ways that actually help me better connect with folks, improve my relationships, not just improve how I was feeling, but improve how the people around me are feeling.
Do you feel like part of your healing process with anything that you've gone through in your life, part of that healing process is helping people, whether it is your own family, or I want to get into Pim here in a second, but people with their mental health? Is that healing for you to help others?
It is healing for me to help others. Personally, I don't necessarily go about wanting to fix people or wanting to even heal people as a objective. I found myself having a great deal of pride in delivering education. I have surrounded myself with incredible psychiatrists, scientists, and researchers, and often they're sharing everything that's going on the cutting edge. And, and I think there's an incredible opportunity to really translate that into accessible ways of taking care of ourselves.
Well, I love how you have made it part of your purpose to help others. And the main way that you're doing that now is with PIM. Can you just walk us through what PIM is? And it's very cool that it's something that's unique to you, because we talked a little bit before we started rolling that maybe antidepressants or medications weren't the best answer for you. Everybody has a different answer when it comes to their mental health. And you found something that helps you, but also can help others.
Yeah. So when I first stopped drinking, I was having a ton of anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
And my now wife, Olivia, who has a similar journey to mine in that her sister died by suicide when my wife was 10.
Wow.
And she was traumatized by it and spent the better part of 2 decades working out solutions to support herself. And she introduced me to nutrition for mental well-being as a means of doing so. And it was life-changing for her.
Yeah.
And I was really skeptical of things like nutrition to support mental well-being. And she introduced me to a set of compounds, amino acid based. And I started taking them and was able to sort out my anxiety in 2 days.
Wow.
And my depression in 2 weeks. Now, that said, for me, there were certain ways in which I was conducting my lifestyle. I wasn't eating well.
Yeah.
Wasn't getting the type of exercise I needed. And so when I added a nutritional component, it was very helpful for me.
Yeah.
And not everybody needs nutrition, but the majority of American adults are nutritionally deficient to support their neurotransmitter health.
Yeah.
So what that means, just to break it down, is we need to ingest the precursors of our neurotransmitters that are ultimately synthesized into things like gamma aminobutyric acid, serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine, adrenaline, which is the catecholamine system is a part of it, which makes up the catecholamine system. And we need to support endorphins. Fitness is a big part of that. But what that comes down to is, like, you can eat a reasonably good diet and get most of what you need. The challenge is there's certain things that can really bring the neurotransmitter support to the next level. If you're talking about foods, pickled foods and so forth, kimchi, sauerkraut, pickles, things like that, that's very common in terms of eating throughout many parts of the world.
Right.
It's actually really great for not only your gut health and supporting the gut-brain connection through serotonin synthesis, but also for things like the GABA system, which manages overwhelm. So for us, when I had the support through nutrition, I was like, why isn't this a thing? Yeah. Why don't people know more about this? And how can we concentrate that nutrition in a way where people could just pop a chew and get it versus, eat a bowl of kimchi. Not to say that's great, but not every day.
Well, I hate pickles, so maybe that explains some of my anxiety over the years. But yeah, it is a quick, easy answer. They come in like little packets, right? And they're just chewables that. Where can you get them?
PIM.com. You can get it at Sprouts. You can get it in the Midwest at Fresh Time, in the South at H-E-B. We'll be in a lot more stores next year.
Awesome.
Ordering online, PIM.com.